Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram,
Papa, come, Swamiji's come.
Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
जय जय राम
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om, Swami.
Pranam, pranam.
Hari Om,
Pranam, pranam, pranam.
Namaskaram, Swamiji.
Namaskaram, namaskaram.
Hari Om, Swami.
Hari Om. Today we will go back to the rest of the boats and then take up whatever he prompts us again. Where are we now? Any idea?
27.
Dwarka. Chanting is for remembrance.
Chanting is
Spiritual summit is where individualism disappears.
If we look at the problem raised as to why people suffer, why accidents happen, why people suddenly die or pass through periods of agony, from the karmic standpoint, we find that suffering and death come to a man according to his past actions. Huh? Have we covered that?
That we don't remember.
We have not covered.
Swamiji, we stopped spirituality. What is that? Where spirituality summit is where individualism disappears.
That is the last one.
Oh.
Oh. When he comes back,
Microcosm is the macrocosm.
so let us not bother about where we stop, because Ajmer we remember.
Society of saints will
Bombay.
is actually
Bombay.
Yes, Swamiji, we have to start with Bombay.
We have to start with Bombay.
Ajmer we finished, Swamiji. And Junagadh also we just finished. Then we have to start with Dwarka actually, boat number 24.
Board number
24, she says.
24.
24 is Junagadh. While traveling in the western India, Papa managed to visit contrasting terrains, from high and mighty Girnar hills that got 10,000 steps to climb to the seaside town of Porbandar. But wherever he went, his sense of empathy and compassion towards his fellow beings, including animals, was intact and evident. The world we live in is a school in which observation and experience offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement, nay, that the world itself is our Guru or God. Okay, from there we move to Dwarka. Papa had an unwavering clarity and conviction about the path he has chosen. His faith in the visionary saints was unshakable. His relationship with his friendly fellow travelers was not burdened by any expectation from his part. This is a very important point. When we are traveling in a group, normally the leader will lead us. Everybody will not decide, the leader will decide. So we have complete trust in him. But sometimes for some reasons, that leader may not be able to take the correct stand. Instead of blaming the leader, we try to analyze why he was prompted to do that. Then we will not blame him. This is what exactly this incident Papa had to pass through. You all remember that older person who was leading, he made them to get up at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, and then he was led. They have been walking and walking and walking without any direction. Suddenly they got into a place where it was marshy land, and everybody, to the knee deep, it was something like, what do you call it, marshy land, swampy, so full of mud and everything. So they cannot move further. So they started criticizing him. Many people left, and then Papa did not leave him. And finally, when they stood for some more than an hour or so slowly, the sunrise was there, and they knew where they were. This was the incident. So here, Papa had an unwavering clarity and conviction about the path he has chosen. That is, what is the path he has chosen? The path he has chosen is God is guiding him. Through many of his creation guiding him. So there is no rights and wrongs. Some experiences I have to go through. Through that person, the experience is given. That's all. So no grumbling and complaint. His faith in the visionary saints was unshakable. His relationship with his fellow travelers was not burdened by any expectation from his part. We don't know whether we have made it clear. Papa knew.
I have not understood this.
What, auntie?
I have not understood this.
She has not
I
understood.
didn't
Now,
understand.
yeah. When we take to a journey, normally there will be a leader, and the leader, for reasons not known to us, in our language we say we were misdirected. Okay, but Papa takes it. God wanted us to go that way. God wanted us to have certain experiences, and the other person was only an instrument. So no grumbling and complaint about that person, because God wanted us to go through that experience. It is the highest stage, but if we try to dwell more and more upon it, whatever circumstances we face, immediately we will not rush up with blaming anybody, blaming a person, blaming a situation, or blaming an object. God wanted us to go through that. It is not possible to accept it straight away. Accept it. Very difficult. Because we have our rights and wrongs. And we expect that the leader will guide us in the way in which we want. But the leader is also guided by the same spirit. Apparently, there must be a wrong step in our language, in a wrong direction. But Papa takes it as that what was that word? Papa had an unwavering clarity and conviction about the path he has chosen. His faith in visionary saints was unshakable. His relationship with his friendly fellow travelers was not burdened with any expectation from his part. He did not expect at all whether they are taking us to the destined place or not. To him, The prompting comes, go along with him, bas. So that means whatever experiences we are going through, it is actuated, willed by him. That thought was very, very well established in him. In our case, our intellect also guides us, and we select a leader. By any chance, we expect him to, there is an expectation. We expect him to take the place where we have already mentally decided we will reach. But suppose for some reason we were not taken there. Immediately we will blame him, the leader. That is our normal. I told you, the other day, you don't take them. You were guided by the GPS has gone wrong. Something like that we will say. But instead of that, Papa takes it that I am willing to go through that experience. We remember one incident, yes. When there was a cloud burst in Himalayas, we all rushed up to do what can be done by us. So we were traveling from Uttarkasi. We have made an assessment and something has been decided. So somebody told us that the Tatas, they have set up an office in Dehradun for this rehabilitation. Then we thought Tata means reliable, so we thought we will discuss with them to what extent we can help. So we were moving at about 5 o'clock from Uttarkasi to Dehradun. The terrain was very, 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 very risky. So our driver was taking, and it must have been about, darkness is setting in, a big boulder on the road. We cannot do anything. And to reverse the vehicle, we don't have that much space. We have no choice. We have to go back. We must have traveled more than 60-70 kilometers. 60-70 kilometers we have to drive back and take another route to go to the Dehradun. Got down, looked at the whole scenery. Okay, then we will go back. Actually, no, it was not misled. God willed that we should go, and then we go back. We were observing now, because now that we are going through this, none of the people who are there who grumbled or mumbled. What can be done? If nature does not want us to go through this day, what can be done? So because of the landslide, there's a big boulder. Big boulder means, I cannot even show you, probably the width of this much. Nothing can be done. Only a JCB can come and slowly do that, and in that process, we don't know. Suppose it goes in this side deep decline, and suppose somebody is there, some animals is there, what will happen to them, we don't know. So there is no question of going. So and it was very difficult to take the vehicle reverse because the width of the road is very limited. So we all got down. The driver was very, very, very careful. So we walked up to a place where, must be more than a kilometer or something, where, he can slowly negotiate to take the vehicle, change the direction of the vehicle. And then we started going back. After this, again, we rushed to, and we reached our destination by 8:30 or 9 o'clock. We remember that. It was not the fault of any human being, but we could not go through. So it was a test. Though we did not have this background that God willed, we said nature had its own plan not to allow us to go. So then we had to come back. But here in this particular incident in Quest of God, many people started grumbling and complaining about the leader. But Papa did not. Papa followed him as much as he could. And when he departed, he also departed, that's all. No adverse comment, no negative comment about that leader. This is what he said. his relationship with his friendly fellow travelers was not burdened by any expectation from his part. Wherever he is, okay. Because God, this is a master plan, You all remember that word? God has got a master plan. And He wanted me to go through certain things. So surrender. So here the quotation selected is, surrender is of one kind, total only. It means dedication of your entire life to God. There is no such thing as partial dedication. I-ness is not given up partially. So to what extent we can absorb this in our daily life, we should try. Whenever we are confronted with a situation, normally we blame the situation, we blame the person or the object or the instrumental cause for it. Instead of that, as spiritual aspirants, we should not lose the equipoise and then try to see God, try to understand that God wanted us to go through this experience. That is why He subjected us to place ourselves in that situation. Is it becoming clear?
Yes, Swami. Yes, Swami. Yes, Swami.
So that is why surrender is of one kind, full total. When God is my designer, my actuator, my planner, my origin, it is foolproof. From my puny intellect stand, I have got rights and wrongs. I may say rights and wrongs, but from His standpoint, He wanted me to go through that particular experience and to know that His will does not prevail, only God's will prevails. To make us know, He has to make us to go through that particular one. So this is what Dwarka chapter teaches us. And from there we move to Bombay. During his travels, Papa sometimes met people who were going through tragic and painful situations in life. They were looking for solace and solution. Listening intently to their tales of travels, he would then guide them to the uplifting and reassuring hands of the Divine, offering them a safety net in the uncertain world. Because he has experienced, he was also passing through stressful moment when he cried, where is rest, where is peace? And he has got a direct experience that the moment the mind started turning towards God and slowly started accepting that His will only prevails, Papa was free from all sorts of stress. This, I am not to keep it only for myself. So in order that I share this with others, God creates some fields where people who are passing through different types of stress, when they come and tell you, you are passing on this information, sharing this information. This is the message for us. We share the message what we have experienced directly. If we are sharing the knowledge, we may have to share the knowledge also. So we should be very careful to make him know that this is from the knowledge level. It will not come in the form of advice, it will come in the form of suggestion. This is how I looked at it and I was able to understand something. You may also try. In the other case, yes, I tell you, this is 100% valid. If we do like this, we will get it. So these two types of approach, probably we can take it, that is the message from Bombay. Whatever we have experienced, we can share where God provides us the field. At the same time, we will be able to say authentically only when we have experienced. When we are passing on an information which we have got, it might help the other people also, which is helping us to move towards that experience. So while conveying that, we should be very careful to say that this is how we feel. Because we are passing on the information. That information has definitely given us some cushioning, some direction. But when we have passed through that experience, just like what we shared with you, because we are reliving those moments. We were 4 or 5 people in our vehicle, nobody grumbled, nobody complained. Everybody was careful only to ensure that the driver is also not discouraged, because we don't know, it was he who suggested. There is a shortcut, through this way we can go. Nobody grumbled, because the driver in all good faith he has suggested that we will be able to reach our destination much earlier. But still, things can go wrong. You know? So if we look at a problem, if we look at the problem raised as to why people suffer, why accidents happen, why people suddenly die or pass through long periods of agony, from the karmic standpoint, we find that suffering and death come to man according to his past karma. So we don't blame anybody. No, my prarabdha I have to work out. No. We were sharing, we don't know, for the sake of those who are hearing it for the first time, we will repeat it again. 30, 40 times we have repeated in Satsang. A great devotee of Satsai Baba who is living, who is no more now, who was in Kanyagad. He was a document writer. We used to entrust all our documentation process to him. A great devotee. Also his second son, somebody, who was in Dubai then. His marriage was fixed in Ernakulam, Cochin. Marriage was conducted. Next day, reception was arranged here. So they came here immediately after the marriage, if you remember right. And then they had gone on a picnic. Tomorrow is the reception. When they Someshwara, beyond Mangalore, when so many friends were there. So the newly wed couple, they were talking, they were exchanging so many things. They were in the beach, Someshwara beach. Suddenly a wave come, they lost their step, fell down. Immediately another wave came, they were taken in. The fishermen who were looking at jumped, and in 5 minutes or less than 10 minutes, they were able to bring them back, but both of them were dead. 5 minutes, no? See the whole scene. Everything came in the paper, body was brought here. Yesterday there was the marriage, today both of them died. Tomorrow is the reception, something like that. So we went there after a week. Puja Swamiji, both of us went there. Because we know him for decades. So as soon we did not inform that we were coming. So as soon as we got down from the vehicle, there was a gate. Immediately somebody rushed up and said, Puja Swamiji has come from Ananda Ashram. So he immediately rushed up. We were entering and suddenly he did pranams and caught hold of Swamiji's feet and was crying. Swamiji slowly put his hand on his shoulder, lifted him up. And you know what he said? I can understand, I realize Baba gave him to me, my son, to be with me for these 20-25 years. Now he has taken back, but still somehow there are times when I forget this. I should be able to remember this. He was back to normal. Emotional outburst is there, but in the quickest possible time, he was able to see God's will. He has to work out his karma, and after that period is over, he has gone back. This acceptance. It took 1 or 2 months for the mother to reconcile with the situation. But I still vividly remember this. Because his faith in his Guru was firm, and he knew, when Papa says, according to his past karma, this is something, we have to keep on dwelling upon it. Then only at times of crisis we will be able to understand this through the karmic angle. It's very important for us. So when during one mother who lost his son, they were crying, and Papa gave Ram Nam, and she was back to her normal life. That was the incident. So here Papa's quotation comes that karmic. So whenever I am made to pass through, instead of blaming anything, instead of directly accepting, if I am not in a position to accept that it is God's will that I am passing through, at least I can say I have to work out my prarabdha. My prarabdha brought me in touch with that person. And after that person, my prarabdha wanted me to get himself, or his prarabdha wanted me to get himself freed from my contact. So that is why this had happened. So that means there will be cushioning. It's not that we will be free from agony. Mental agony will be there. It will take time to settle. But as spiritual aspirants, if we try to bring in these dimensions, it will have a telling effect. So that this blaming, mumbling, complaining, that will get reduced.
Swamiji? You mean when a person in trouble meets us and we have to help them, his karma is worked out through our presence or something like that?
Something. God is providing us the field means what? But He has given us a small sense of freedom, either to become sensitive or to become insensitive. So when we know, yes, God has given me a freedom, a field to work out, because all these things are positive, nothing self-centeredness is there. So it will all add in our account. And until we start recognizing that it is will, then we will not be affected. The individual will not say, I have rushed up to his help, God willed that we should be there. He made us to do something. That's all. Until we reach that stage, yes, the karmic wrangle is there. This has been made clear by Papa. Until we will be free from the burden of karmic wrangle only when the handing over becomes complete. Then I have no more to accumulate, no more to discharge. It's zero. That means when I have handed over myself lock, stock and barrel to Him, ownership of everything, objects, emotions, thoughts, everything is His, everything is His, everything is His. Then whatever activities that are to be made through me, it will be done, but I will not own it, When this ownership is not there, I will not be affected by this karmic wrangle. This is what the direction Papa gives us. That is why he said,
How to give up ownership of everything? I mean, I can understand of object, but thoughts are a little bit difficult actually.
Who said it is easy? It is the difficult one, most difficult one. That is why when we chant Ram Nam, we have to go, he is asking us to concentrate upon the sound, and when through the sound we rise above higher consciousness. That is called and where we move toward the stillness. So the thought realizes it has come from the stillness. By repeatedly going through. Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Most often we are not aware of the thought, they are just going.
Correct.
Taking us,
Sure.
taking us by
Absolutely.
I mean, we are following the thoughts, Swamiji, becomes like that. We are steady, like,
Absolutely right. But now, having been kindled by our master, having been repeated so many times through his teachings, we try to assimilate this, try our best, So far we have not, we can, as you said, we can renounce everything except the thoughts. Because thoughts we feel, it is instantaneous. But it's the thought that gives me the feeling I am. So it is very difficult. But Papa, who has scaled the heights, he clearly mentions that. How do we know that? He says, utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. It is in the stillness that we can know and realize God. There is one more quotation. Papa's words. Bhajan must lead you into silence, or Ramna, okay? Silence not merely orally but mentally. That stage of silence you must reach soon, without going on making noises all the life. Utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. In the stillness it is that you know and realize God. Out of silence, tremendous forces are released, wonders are worked. Learn to be silent. It is not merely outer silence, but inner silence, silence of the mind. Now, when we recede into the depths of silence within us, when we recede into the depths of silence within us, we arrive at the true basis of our life. We discover that from this source, all life and manifestation have come forth in their amazing variety and multiplicity. From this source. It is at this source that we discover the eternal fountain of peace and joy. Until an individual gets the vision of this fundamental existence, that means that a stage which is past thoughts, until an individual gets the vision of this fundamental existence, he will be simply groping on the surface and therefore in the dark, in pursuit of vain and evanescent things, believing that these can yield him the true peace and happiness which his soul hungers for. Until an individual gets the vision of this fundamental existence. Fundamental existence of what? Fundamental existence of what? That there is the source from where even thoughts emanate. So to know that he wants us to chant and concentrate upon the sound and get a glimpse of our source. Until an individual gets the vision of this fundamental existence, an existence which is past thoughts, which is free from thoughts, which is stillness, which is peace, which is joy, he will be simply groping on the surface and therefore in the dark, in pursuit of vain and evanescent things, believing that these can yield him true peace and happiness which his soul hungers for. So this becomes very clear during this. These will all help us, to make our Ramnam more effective. It is not surface level chanting. We are now fully made known the purpose of chanting. Utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. So handing over the ownership of even thoughts means, that is the word we use, It is only through diving deep within us and have a glimpse of that state which is free from thoughts. And for a moment we may get, we may lose, we may get, we may lose, we may get, we may lose. But now Papa assures that you will get steadied. His life is the testimony. It is highly subjective, but when we deeply ponder over, some light we will see.
Swamiji, we can understand this only through experience.
We can only understand through experience.
Correct, exactly. Try. Not hearing. That is why every day we are now trying to chant a few times of Ramnam slow speed and trying to concentrate on the sound and then the source from which the sound comes, the stillness. 5 minutes morning we try. If we are blessed with that, when we don't get that, we pray intensely. Mind is still turbulent. Mind is not concentrating on the sound. Please make it concentrate. So that's why it's a prayer and meditation. We keep on trying. Definitely we will get a glimpse. So that was Bombay. Then from there, Panchavati Tapovan. Many incidents in his journey convinced him that God's ways are always inscrutable and he alone knows the why and the wherefore. Papa was always content with what he had and never wanted anything more, even when he was repeatedly offered. One point that comes to us is that contentment. What is contentment? What is contentment?
Satisfaction. Fullness.
Peace.
Not wanting anything.
Not wanting anything.
Not wanting anything.
Ah.
Satisfying with whatever we want.
So whatever, as an individual, I need some basic things. When that is provided to me, I am satisfied. Even if somebody gives...
Fullness.
Fullness, yeah, correct. But in our own life, let us see, not big, big words. Content with what he had and never wanted anything more, even when he was repeatedly offered. Enough. Why? The real contentment comes when we know that he has planned our life, and does he not know what is to be provided to us and when? That is the real contentment. In our language, we can say a sense of fullness, But are we sure we are in a position to keep it up? We cannot say yes. The mind will keep on interpreting, Previously, we were trying to understand these things through three words: necessities, comforts, luxuries. Now the interpretation is comforts and luxury have become necessities. That has become a necessity now. Previously, when we were coming to ashram, there were only one or two Indian closets, latrines, and one common bathroom. Everybody was content. We take the key, go there, far off, very near to now the Poshala. There were two. We take the key from here and go there, use it, then our common bathroom, we all stand outside. We take the hot water in a bucket and then go. Hot water we don't get from geyser. There will be a what do you call that? A big copper. A copper vessel is embedded, and underneath, the fire is through what is that? Wood. Firewood. Through firewood it is heated, and the water is heated. From there we have to take it, go to the next room, have our bath. Okay. Now everybody wants an attached bathroom. From that day, necessity and comforts are luxuries. Today, that comforts or luxuries have become necessities. So this cannot be guided. So whatever is available, when we come to ashram, whatever is available, we are content. That state. I may be having a different setup at my home. God is giving me a test now. Instead of holding on to my necessities then, which may be luxury or comfort, instead of holding on to that, I adapt to myself. Okay, this is available, right. What is allotted is perfectly okay. Are we in a position to accept that? Each one has to think. So this is a very important point in our day-to-day life. It will free us from uncertainty or mental turmoil or discomfort at the mental level to a very great extent if we develop this. Whatever is available, it's okay. Something for all of us to think deeply. So we go to the next. Feel always, and Papa's quotation is, feel always that you are in his hands and therefore always safe. With the weapon of God remembrance, you can dwell in the midst of temptation and remain unaffected. Feel always that you are in his hands and therefore always safe. What is contentment, This is contentment. I am comfortable in any situation where he places me. Because I am in his hands. He knows where to put me and where not to put me. So with the weapon of God remembrance, you can dwell in the midst of temptation and remain unaffected. This is called contentment. Real contentment. The other contentment is also right, but from a different level. From the spiritual level, the real contentment is that we are comfortable in at all circumstances. Trimbakeshwar. Oh. Many a times, Papa was saved miraculously in precarious situations. These events reinforced his faith and trust in his Savior and convinced him that he alone exists. What the caterpillar calls the end of the day is what God calls a butterfly. So Papa's quotation, be calm and serene in all situations with the thought of God in your mind. Be always brave and cheerful, you are truly under his protection. In a lighter vein, we used to say that Papa was giving test to Ram when he was taking some adventurous steps. Even in the vision of God, you can find when he was going towards that Vasishta Guha, what all adventurous things. So he was testing, we used to say he was testing Ram. But actually God was guiding him, Ram was guiding him to take up that adventurous steps. When I am there, how do you know that I am with you? Only when I put you in a precarious circumstances. And you feel absolutely safe in me, then only you will realize. Not where you are comfortably placed, you will say it in your, with you through your lips, but you may not feel it from your heart. All basics are there, no? Just like we are hearing these words in a comfortable position. What will happen if something is denied to us? Are we in a position to hear the same thing with the same mental makeup? That is why in good old days the ashrams were not like today. Simple, holy, where the minimum comforts will be there. Minimum. Whether we adjust, if there is not a place, how will we know we can adjust? Be calm and serene in all situations with the thought of God in your mind. Be always brave and cheerful, you are truly under his protection. Pandarpur and Bijapur. During his journey, Papa was fortunate to get the darshan of many Mahatmas who inspired him with the exemplary life they led and the universal values they kindled. So, society of saints is the most effective means to awaken the heart to the consciousness of God. The aspirant should approach them in all humility with an attitude to receive their enlightening influence. Otherwise, it is only at the emotional level, sentimental level. We have the darshan of that Mahatma. He is so great, so simple, like that we will say. So what? Am I imbibing that simplicity? That is important. Society of saints is the most effective means to awaken the heart to the consciousness of God. The aspirant should approach them in all humility with an attitude to receive their enlightening influence. This is a very important point for all of us. That is why we are reminded this truth, that when we go to a saint, we should not start from where we saw the saint. We should start from where he started the journey. Then only we will be able to remember. That is why of all the photographs, Papa's that Panchabandava photograph is the most inspiring one. Because that was the starting point. Even that is not the starting point, but at least that is the starting point. We are reminded we have to start from there, not from the photo or image of Papa who is placed in the bhajan hall. Because then only mentally we will start, we will go through all those things one by one or try to live up to that. When he sits comfortably in the bhajan hall, we start from there. What was his state when he took up this tour? What was his state in Kasaragod ashram? What was his stage at the 1931, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36 or 40 or 45 up to 50 of this ashram? Mataji was cooking everything with the firewood. Papa was churning the clay. We can visualize the picture with only one cloth and an upper cloth, that's all. And how all these things were built one by both of them. If we don't remember and if we look at from the present day setup with Papa's photo there, do you think we will be able to get a glimpse of their enlightening experience? No. Mentally, we have to go back to the place from where they had started. That is what here. Society of Saints is the most effective means to awaken the heart to the consciousness of God. Aspirants should approach them in all humility with an attitude to receive their enlightening influence. Mataji joining in Papa in 1928, leaving the two children. Doing the so-called labeled menial job in strangers' houses. And when she decided to come and stay in the ashram, people started commenting, and finally they attempted to strangle her to death. Still she did not have any complaints, grumblings. She accepted it as his will. And when she came here, what was the plight? What was there? And brick by brick, how she built up this ashram. Planned everything meticulously. At the same time, living in the tiny little room. Every now and then we have to remember this. Then only we are at least making an attempt to go back to there. We start our life from their starting point. Immediately, first tangible gain will be, we will be free from grumblings and complaints. What all Mataji has provided now here for us. Those of us who were blessed to have her darshan, we know that let anybody come, let anybody go in the tiny little room she was sitting in. If she wanted a bigger room, people would have built a palace for her. She was interested in buying land, constructing houses and giving to so many people. But she was still staying in that tiny little room. 10 people come in, it is difficult. Still she did not think of going for a bigger room. So to go back, this is what is important, how to receive their enlightening influence, And then the last board, Hubli, not Hubli. Pandava, case Kadri, back to Papa's journey that started from Mangalore came a full circle as he finally reached the Pandava caves near the town. To sum up, it was a journey that began in the background of frustration and utter restlessness, ended in the state of peace and serenity in God remembrance. And Papa's words, this is a very important quotation. The soul which is imprisoned within the toils of individualism now attains the bliss of perfect freedom. The soul which is imprisoned within the toils of individualism, the me and mine, now attains the bliss of perfect freedom. This is how the boats end. Tomorrow we can have a... We started with this quotation. A seeker's likes and dislikes, favors and prejudices set up a thick wall on his path. He should fling himself into the infinite life. From the individual life, he should throw himself to the infinite life. And the last quotation is, the soul which is imprisoned within the toils of individualism now attains the bliss of perfect freedom. If we read these two quotations, that is the meaning of In Quest of God. We will have 3 times Ram Nam. We will try to concentrate upon the sound and then let us see what happens. Even if we are unable to capture the silence within us, it will not go in vain. It will definitely push an inch towards him. Sure. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram. Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram. Pranam. Pranam. Namaskar. Pranam.
Hari Om Swamiji, Namaskaram Swamiji. Oh, Swamiji. Hari Om. Namaskaram Swamiji.
Namaskar. Namaskar.
फर्स्ट क्लास के फिर